now receive the atonement.
You see what he said? If you start the New Testament before you read all that in the Old, you don't even know what atonement means. Make an atonement. This is how you make atonement. By following the law, statutes, and understanding his commandment. Through his blood. Instead of you going there and saying, I plead the blood. You don't even understand. You ain't pleading the blood if you ain't taking the Passover at the right time. You ain't pleading the blood if you ain't celebrating the Day of Atonement. You pleading Satan's blood. Understand that. Let's go back to Leviticus chapter 17 and verse 11. Understand this blood has to be shed to forgive sin. When there's no blood, there's no forgiveness. Just like when God told the children of Israel, put the blood on your doorpost in your house so that death angel won't come out and kill your firstborn. If you didn't have the blood on your house, what happened? They died. And this is what's going on today. People don't have this blood of atonement. They don't have the blood of the Passover. They don't understand the high days at all. But you say you're going with Jesus. The Holy Ghost is going to speak to me. And you ain't reading no book. You don't have no knowledge. If a ghost come to you or a spirit come to you, if you don't have to understand this book, he can lead you to death. Leviticus chapter 17 and verse 11. You don't understand that bloodshed is the only way for forgiveness. Some got to die. Go ahead, brother.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
See what I'm saying? It's the blood. And we understand by following the Day of Atonement, when he tells us to fast, not eating and drinking, God is looking down at us and said, those are my kids. They doing exactly what I told them. I'm going to protect them. Just like that death angel protected the children of Israel firstborn in Egypt at the time, when he said, put the blood on your doorpost, so the death angel won't come out and kill your firstborn and your firstborn on cattle. They was protected. But the ones that put it on them, they died. It's the same thing. Same thing. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 4, verse 27. Before we go to the New Testament, we must understand the Old. It's almost like eating a piece of chicken. When you sit in the house, you eat the chicken, and your dad watching you, and you just eating a piece of chicken, you throwing it away. You say, hey, boy, I said some more meat on that bone. And that's what they're doing. They're going in the New Testament and try to just eat a little bit of it and leaving a whole lot of meat on the bone. It's a lot of meat here. Sometimes it's too much meat for your mind to get it into it. You got this a lifetime study. You ain't gonna never master this. I'm telling you this right now. You never gonna master it. You ever gonna be learning. So don't think you can come up here and master it, because I'm still trying to master it. So let's understand this. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 4, verse 27. You got to understand the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance,
yes, sir,
while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty.
So you said if sin in ignorance, this is how you get forgiven of sin. This is showing you how they forgave sin back then. Go ahead.
Or if his sins, which he has sinned, come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering of kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned.
So you have to bring an animal sacrifice, pure, without blemish. Nothing can be wrong with the animal. He got to be healthy. You just can't bring God your non-healthy cattle. You got to bring him the healthiest one of all for your sin. Go ahead.
And he shall lay his hands upon the head of the sin offering, slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering.
Yes, sir.
And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it up on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereat, the bottom of the altar.
This is this live goat. We still on the Day of Atonement. You got to slay this animal. The blood got to be for forgiving of sin. Just like Jesus' blood got to be, just like Jesus' blood got to forgive us for our sin. Go ahead.
And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offering.
Yes, sir.
And the priest shall burn it up on the altar for a sweet Savior unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him.
This is how you forgive sin back then with the blood of animals. Go ahead.
And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish.
Yes, sir.
And he shall lay his hands upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, put it up on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar.
Yes, sir. This is the instruction of the priest. This is what he got to do. Go ahead.
And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offering made by fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he has committed, and it shall be forgiven him.
You got to make an atonement for him. And this is how you get forgiven. Just like we taking a part of this day of atonement and fasting and praying, God said, look, they are doing exactly what I'm saying. They are taking my blood and they are following it through the blood of Christ. We understand that Christ died on the cross for our sins. And this is how we can get reconciliation or recovering us from the last death, which is the lake of fire. We got to understand this. And this is the foundation, so you'll go back. Somebody won't just fool you when you go in the New Testament, you start reading this stuff. Now let's go to the New Testament and read it. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 6. Let's see how Jesus replaced the blood of the animals with his blood and not the holy day. So many people want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We can't do animal sacrifices, so we can't do the holy days. No. If you understand Christ and what he represents, you understand that the holy days don't have nothing to do with animal sacrifices, and you can just replace the sacrifice with Christ. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 6. Just understand it. So when you go to the New Testament, you won't be all, oh man, I don't know what they're talking about. So we just read the foundation. This is the Day of Atonement. Hebrews chapter 9. Let's start with verse 1 first. Verse 1. Go ahead.
Then verily the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service.
Yes, sir.
And a worldly sanctuary.
This is the first covenant, meaning this is how it was done with animal sacrifice. Go ahead.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick, and the table, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary.
This is what all the instruments that was in the tabernacle, the candlestick, the menorah, as they say, the 7 candlesticks, and the table, the showbread, and the Ark of the Covenant. Everything was in that tabernacle. This is the stuff they're really trying to recreate over there in Jerusalem right now. Trying to make sure that these so-called Jewish people take our place and they're going to start back up offering up animal sacrifices. I'm going to get off on the lesson a little bit, but this is what these, the ones that are going to build the third temple, they're going to start taking up animal sacrifices, and then that's when the Pope, whoever he is, going to come in there and stop it. He's trying to recreate himself through Jesus. When he stopped animal sacrifice, he said, Christ is here now. That's his name. He's the vicar of Christ, meaning he Christ upon this earth. He going to go through and try to do the same thing that Jesus did. But let's get back to the lesson. Just had to add that a little bit. Verse 3. Go ahead.
And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all,
Yes, sir.
which had the golden censer and the Ark of the Covenant, overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded,
See, this is when, go ahead.
and the tables of the covenant.
This is that veil, when he had that veil, that curtain, he went behind the veil one time a year. He just explaining what's going to happen in the future. Go ahead.
And over it the cherubims of glory shattering the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Just that, the Ark of the Covenant, he just is just describing it. Cherubim and the cherubim angels on the ark. This box had two angels sitting on it, covering Christ in the middle. If you ever look at any other drones, the temple doing whatever, they got that box, they kind of recreated the Ark of the Covenant, if you want to get a visual. But go ahead.
Verse 6. Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of God.
Yes, sir.
But into the second went the high priest alone once every year,
Yes, sir.
not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people.
Didn't we just read that?
Yes.
So we understanding this. Go ahead.
The Holy Ghost is signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing,
Go ahead.
which was a figure for the time then present.
This is what he said. He said, which was a figure, an example, just for that time. This is what they did. But it's going to be different when Christ comes. Go ahead.
In which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to the conscience.
See, those animal sacrifices couldn't make you perfect. They couldn't. So he had to have a more sufficient offering, which is Christ, his blood.
That's right.
You have to do away with that. Because that wasn't getting it done. Go ahead.
Which stood only in meats and drinks, and divers washings, and cardinal ordinances, and opposed on them until the time of Reformation.
This is what the priests did. They had to wash all that meat up. They had to take care of the temple. They had to do all the things that the ministers of the temple, they had to take care of this business. But that temple, those priests are done away with right now. We're not going to have those right now. Christ has took their place. Go ahead.
But Christ, being come as high priest of good things to come,
Yes, sir.
by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hand, that is to say, not of this building.
See, Christ came away and did away with that part of the priest doing this order. Now he's doing it. Go ahead.
Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood, he entered in once into the holy place,
Yes, sir.
having obtained eternal redemption for us.
This is the recovery. This is the redemption for us. This is how we escape the lake of fire. He entered in once. The same way that priest entered in once, he entered in once. But the difference is, we don't offer them sacrifices no more. Go ahead.
Verse 13. For if the blood of bulls and of goats, and the ashes of an heifer sprinkling the unclean sacrifices to the purifying of the flesh,
Go ahead.
how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God?
Christ's blood is the best blood. The best. His blood, you only have to do it one time. It was done when he died. But with that priesthood, that order with animal sacrifice, they had to do it every year. Every year. So he made it easier for us. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Yeah, jump down to verse 20. Go ahead.
Saying, this is the blood of the testament which God has enjoined unto you.
Yes, sir.
Moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry.
Go ahead.
And almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood there is no remission
of sin. No remission. So Christ had to die. You cannot get forgiveness of sin unless there's some blood there. When you plead the blood, you understand what the blood represents. We understand that this blood represent on this day was really, really important. And it really important every day. But this day right here, we must take part of this Day of Atonement. Go ahead.
It was therefore necessary that the pattern of things in the heavens should be purified with these.
Yes, sir.
But the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these.
See, with better sacrifices. What are you talking about? Christ.
Amen.
He's the best. Go ahead.
For Christ has not entered into the holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the truth, but into heaven itself, not to appear in the presence of God for us.
See, that's that scapegoat that this priest led into the wilderness. It's a representation of Christ going back to the right hand of the Father. Y'all see how this thing just perfectly made, how Christ fulfilled all this? With understanding, when you read the New Testament, you can read it with understanding because you understand it old. But if you don't understand how the priesthood works, you won't definitely won't understand this. That's the reason why we read so much. Go ahead.
25. Not yet that he should offer himself often,
Yes,
as
sir.
the high priest entered into the holy place every year with blood of others.
See what I'm saying? Now, he just did it one time. The high priest had to come in every single year. What time did what time did the high priest have to come every year? The Day of Atonement. This day this day we're doing right now. So we letting Christ know what you done for us. And he looking down at us and saying, those are my children. I'm writing them in the Lamb's Book of Life. And also you can get struck out the Lamb's Book of Life if you don't continue this. It ain't no one time thing. It's every year. Every year. As long as you got breath in your body, you got to celebrate this day. Go ahead.
For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world.
Yes, sir.
But now once in the end of the world has he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself.
So when did he do that? Once. When he died on the cross. Once. That's it. Go ahead.
And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment.
Yes, sir.
So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
This is what this blood represents. This is what the Day of Atonement represents. This is what the live goat represents. This is what the scapegoat represents. You plug Jesus in every one of those laws and statutes in the Old Testament, and it'll roll out perfect harmony. Perfect. If you got some understanding. If you don't, you look at it like, well, what are they talking about? So we read the foundation first, so we go in the New Testament, we understand exactly what he took away, which is the priest and the animal sacrifice. Let's go to Matthew chapter 27. We got one more after this one. Matthew chapter 27, verse 50. Let's understand more about how Jesus replaced those animal sacrifices. But he didn't do away with the law. Matthew 27, verse 50. I gotta break this thing down because I have a hard time understanding stuff. So I want to make sure I make it plain enough as a child would understand. If a child can understand it, I know many of us can. We got to know the difference, y'all. We can't just throw away the law. Don't throw away the law. Matthew chapter 27, 27 verse 50. Go ahead, brother.
Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost.
Yes, sir.
And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent.
See, when we didn't understand the veil of the temple in the Old Testament, we don't know what he's talking about right here. That veil, that curtain where the priest went in and sprinkled 7 times the blood for the forgiveness of the congregation and the forgiveness of him. So when Jesus died, that veil was taken down. You ain't got to do that no more. He took that priestly order out. I'm replacing that with my body. Let me show you. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 1. So we understand this. we can read with some understanding. Let's see why this veil was replaced with Jesus' blood. So when you read this, you'll know exactly what he's talking about. And you might not get it on the first time. You might have to go refer back to your notes, take notes, so you go back and read it, so you can understand it for yourself. Hebrews chapter 10, you're going to read verse 1. Let's see why this veil was replaced with Jesus' blood. So when we fast and take off from work, so we won't say, man, we're just doing this, I'm missing out on money, then I'm missing out on food and all this stuff. You got people mind just going crazy, but they don't know how important this is. You're thinking about some food, you're thinking about some money. Oh, you need to be thinking about your life in the lake of fire. Because that's where you're going if you don't take part of these holy days the right way. Let's understand this. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 1. Go ahead, brother.
For the law had a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things. And never with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
So what law is he talking about? Animal sacrifice law. But you know that these Sunday Christians will go over here and say, see, their law was a shadow of good things to come. When Christ came, he did away with the law. We understand from the Old Testament what law is he talking about with the veil. He did away with the animal sacrifice. He did away with the veil of the temple. He did away with sprinkling of the blood 7 times on the veil. He did away with that. But they will tell you right here, they're going to hit you with it. What you come and tell them about the law? Now, let me take you to Hebrews chapter 10. Let's kill all that, Jeff. And it's said right here with those sacrifices year by year. Go ahead, brother. He's going to tell you.
For then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers once purged should have had no more conscience of sin.
Go ahead.
But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year.
So with these people today, if they have built that third temple in Jerusalem, and they got them priests and them taking on an animal sacrifice, y'all just threw Christ out the way. Y'all threw him out the door. Y'all throwing him out the door like some trash. If they start taking up animal sacrifices again. This is important that you have to know, because you might have to lead somebody in the right way. Because these people today are looking at men like they are God. Look at that priest that walking through here upon the earth. They trying to get to him. They want him to kiss their baby. They want them to forgive sin. They want him to do a lot of stuff that Christ only can do. So they're looking at this man. He said, but those, verse 3, but those, in those sacrifices there was a remembrance again made of sin. Every year, if you're doing the sacrifice, it's a remembrance. Go ahead.
For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sin.
So that blood of bulls and goats can't take away sin, y'all. It can't. Go ahead.
Wherefore, when he cometh into the world,
Who is he coming in the world? Jesus. When he coming in the world, what are he going to do? Go ahead.
he said, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me.
A body. That's when he died on the cross to do away with those animal sacrifices, not the law. That's why when you go back in the Old Testament, you read the ordinance, you read the instructions, you see you offer us a sacrifice, you just replace that with Christ. His blood. Every time you see animal sacrifice, you put Christ there. And you follow the ordinance. That's it. Simple. Go ahead.
In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin, thou hast had no pleasure.
He ain't got no pleasure in no animal sacrifice if you continue to do that. You throw him out like some trash if these people offering no animal sacrifice. And they gonna do it in the end. They gonna do it. Go look it up for yourself on the internet. Levitical priests in Jerusalem being trained to offer up animal sacrifices. They training them now. Getting ready for the temple. Getting ready for the man of sin to sit in the temple. They getting ready for it. But you know what? Most of the world don't know. And they're going to go over there and act like he's the holiest man alive. He said, come out, boy, let me put that mark in your right hand and forehead. And they do it all the time on Ash Wednesday. You put a cross in your head, and then they put a cross in your hand. And you, when they preach and call you to the altar, what they do with you when you go to the altar? They put that olive oil, and they put a cross in your head, they put a cross in your hand, some of them. They reenacting their father. which is the devil. This is what they're doing. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 7. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written in me,
Yes, sir.
to do thy will, O God.
Everything that's going on in this Bible is written of Christ. It's a representation of Christ. All of it. Every single bit of all of it. Representation, if you got some understanding.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Above when he said, sacrifice and offering and burnt offerings and offerings for sin thou wilt not. Neither has pleasure therein, which are offered by the law.
What law is he talking about? Animal sacrifice law. So don't let them take you here and fool you now that the law is done away with. It's all this whole scripture is talking about the animal sacrifice law. Go ahead.
9. Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second.
What first he took it away? The veil of the temple, the animal sacrifice law. He took away the first. You know what these dumb Sunday Christian people say? Oh, he took away the 10 Commandments. What kind of sense is that? You're going to take away the very thing that's going to give you salvation. If you don't have the commandments, how you going to know you sin? How? You can't know. Like if you running down on that road, Oglethorpe at 35 right now in the school, well, 25 in the school zone. If it ain't got no, if it don't have no speed limit on it, you don't know that you're speeding. You don't know you're breaking the law. But if it's a speed limit on it, you know you're breaking the law. So all these people saying that you can't get to God if you sin. So what is sin to them? Smoking, drinking, and dancing. They ain't looking at the law. They're looking at something else. You got to look at the speed limit. The speed limit for God is the law. Just like the speed limit on this road 25, it's just like the speed limit of this law is for God and us to reconnect, reconciliation, to recover. This is how we're going to recover, to get back with Him through these laws. Go ahead.
Verse 10. By the which will we all sacrifice through the offering.
We're sanctified.
We're sanctified, I'm sorry. By the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all.
Sanctified only means set apart. How you set yourself apart? You follow these laws. You follow the Day of Atonement. You follow the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You follow the blowing of trumpets, Passover, Tabernacle. You follow these days. And He knows that you with Him. If He knows you with Him, you protected. You with the little sanctuary that He talks about in all your enemies' land. If you want some protection, instead of looking at all these doing stupid presidents, candidates, just dumb. They ain't even looking at what Christ saying. They worry about what Trump and Hillary saying. Don't know nothing about these scriptures. Jesus is my president. I vote for Him. But we're going to end off there. Hope you understand. Like I said before, make sure everybody pay attention. Ain't no eating and no drinking on this day. No brushing your teeth. All that stuff that still got water in it. All that stuff, leave it alone. Don't even get into it. You know what I'm saying? If you put toothpaste in your mouth, that's like eating something. Because you're going to consume some of it. It's affliction. Your body's supposed to go through some pain of hunger, of something that you normally would do, but you ain't doing. You got to understand, don't put nothing in your mouth. Like I said, if you got a doctor excuse, hey, that's up to you and the Lord. That's up to y'all two. But also, we got the first day of the Feast of Tabernacle coming up Sunday. So we're going to get together and get this food together. If you can't cook it, donate, and we'll cook it. But we asking people, the new people, we don't want you cooking nothing. Because you don't quite understand this stuff right now. If you cook something, something simple, like chicken or something like that. Because I want to make sure that everybody understands we don't bring no polluted stuff up here on the Lord Holy Day, period. So we spend time out researching this stuff. Don't buy nothing from the store if you don't understand what's going on. Make it. Make it. But so we're going to have this holy day coming up, the Feast of Tabernacle, Sunday, right here at 1 o'clock. I'm going to remind you again on the Sabbath, but we got to get this money in so we can get all this food. So if you can't prepare anything, donate money so we can get it. All right, we're going to stand and close out.